use afterwards. But just my video is spotlighted. All right, let's go ahead and begin. Today we're going to start on our backs. So go ahead, if you prefer a different position like child's pose, feel free to do that. Otherwise, come onto your back and squeeze your knees onto your chest. Maybe rock side to side. And then slowly release your legs down towards the mat, finding a comfortable position, whether that's letting your legs rest long or finding a butterfly pose. Find rest on your back, maybe with your one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Start to soften onto your mat. With every inhale, draw it in through your nose. Let it fill up your lungs. Notice your belly rise. And as you exhale, push the air out through your mouth. Letting go. Every inhale, drawing in fresh, new breath, air. And as you exhale, start to release any tension, any thoughts or distractions that come across your mind. Let them ride out on your exhale breath. Take a moment to notice where your mind is. Once again, come back to the idea of every thought riding your breath out like a wave. Whenever they arrive, whenever more thoughts or distractions come up during class, bring it back to your breath as a way to be present, focus on the moment. As you're ready, bring your knees back together wherever they are and hug them in towards your chest. And then cross your right leg over your left. We'll start with some spinal stretching. Extend your arms out by your sides to get a nice platform. And then dip your legs over to the left. So your crossed leg is on top. Now bring it back up to center. And we'll take a couple of these. You can move with your breath as you exhale, twist. Inhale, bring it back center. So it's a little bit of core work, but also starting to move our spines, getting a deeper twist there. Notice where it spreads, maybe into the top of your right hip. Continually using the ground to support you. And as always, you can pause in any part of any posture to really soak in the stretch in a certain position that feels good to you. As you're ready, come back to center, swap out your legs, left leg comes on top, and then dip your legs over to the right. Notice your core engage as you lift your legs. Notice any gentle massaging through your right hip as your legs drop. And come back up to center, unravel your legs, squeeze them in. And then extend your legs long, extend your arms long, bringing in your core. And then hug your knees back into your chest. Lift your forehead up to your knees. Really working through our spine, through our core. Extend long, hover your legs. And then bring it back in. Exhale, squeeze. Inhales, lengthen. Nice and long. Reach through your fingertips and toes. And squeeze it out. Final time here. Stand long And squeeze it in. Now rock over onto your side and slowly come up to a seated position. We're gonna work on our hips a bit before getting into class. So find a Z shape with your legs. So your knees are bent and your left foot will come to the top of your right leg. There might be space in between or not. So now lift both knees up and we're gonna swap them out. Dropping to the opposite side, come back to your center. Your hands can float up above using your core, or you can use your hands on the ground behind you. It may help to lean back a little bit. This will shift the stretch. Just notice what works best for you. Rotating your hand, or rotating your knees. Right, then come back up to center and find a tabletop pose. Bring your knees under your hips, palms under your shoulders. Find a few rounds of cat and cow. Follow your breath. Let it come across your spine. So as you inhale, let it open up the front line of your spine. As you exhale, create space across the back line. Continue to flow with your breath. Maybe you take some additional movements, some hip sways, or some side to side. Continually tapping in to what your body needs. If there's any posture that is calling for, go ahead and take it. Maybe moving your chin left and right as you find up dog or find this cow pose. And then come to a neutral spine, send your hips back, find child's pose, extend your arms long, notice the stretch across your shoulder blades, walk your fingertips a little further forward. On your next inhale, ride it up, lift your shoulders, come into an upward facing dog, push to the tops of your feet, gaze forward, exhale, child's pose. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, child's. One more time. And release. Find child's pose. Take a couple breaths here. And notice any shifts or changes within your body. Notice if there's any areas you notice might be a little bit more tight or need more attention for practice today. And let that be your focus. Whether you notice some spots or will continue to notice as you move through practice. Deepen this stretch, the postures that help in those spots. As you're ready, shift forward, find tabletop pose. We'll kick it off, tuck your toes, lift your hips, find downward facing dog. Pedal it out here. Maybe test widen in your stance today, bringing your feet to the wide edges of your mat. Notice any difference that this feels. Bend your knees and spread your fingertips. Really as if you're pushing off of your hands. Send your chest towards your legs and lift your hips. Gaze forward, step your feet behind your wrists, ragdoll pose, grab opposite elbows. Maybe interlace your hands behind your low back for an added shoulder stretch. Let your upper body hang. Allow for a deep bend in your knees to help lengthen your spine. Release your hands down, toe heel your feet together to touch. Tuck your chin and rise up to standing. Sweep your arms overhead, find mountain pose. Bring your pinkies to point slightly in, draw your shoulders down. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, send it out. Breath in. And release. Inhale, mountain pose. Sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. We'll start to flow through. Inhale, halfway lift, gaze down, find a flat back. Hold here for a couple breaths. Tuck your chin through the crown of your head. And alternatively, push through your seat. Imagine that there's one straight line coming out of your spine. Top and the back. And release down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, one more time. Exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back, high plank. Hold here for a moment, sway forward and back. Maybe find some small circles. Notice your arms connected to your body. And then push directly back in a downward facing dog. Breath in. Exhale. Flowing through, inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, gaze down. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, rise up. This time add a twist. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms. Step or drop your feet back, high plank. This time we'll set up for a chaturanga. If you want a classic chaturanga, lower halfway, pulling your elbows into your sides. Inhale, upward dog. Press the tops of your feet to the ground. Exhale, down dog. Lift your hips. Always an option to hold high plank and push it straight back in a down dog. Gaze forward. Step or jump your feet to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, rise up. This time add a back bend. Cactus your arms, lift your chest. Push your hips forward. Breathe. Work to melt your shoulder blades down your spine. Lift your chest. Mountain pose and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms. Step it back and take your time to flow through and find a downward facing dog. Whichever variation is best for you. As you find a down dog, gaze forward, step your feet behind your wrists and then out to the sides. We'll find a yogi squat. Your heels on your mat, toes are off your mat. Bring your elbows inside to the inside of your legs, thumbs to your heart. Take a gentle sway back and forth. And release into a forward fold. Lift your hips, sway now side to side. Waking up your body. And then step your feet together to touch. Find a chair pose, drop your seat, reach your arms up high, drop your hips, breathe. Rock into your heels, pull in your low belly. Notice any movement in your lower back. By pulling in your low belly, tuck your tailbone, create some space in your lower spine. One more breath. And launch off into drinking bird. Lift your heels, sweep your arms back. Tuck your chin, breathe. Mountain pose, drop your heels, rise all the way up. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, flow through. Let your palms, step it back. We meet in down dog. As you find down dog, sweep your right toes high. Bend your knee, find some circles. Maybe you flip your dog by placing your right foot to the outside of your mat. Lift your right hand, lift your hips. And three-legged dog is where we'll meet. Kick your right toes high and low lunge. Step your right foot to the top of your mat. Drop your back knee, untuck your toes, lift your arms. Settle in here with your hips, find some movement. Then lock in your glutes, squeeze them together. Holding steady. Notice strength through your inner thighs and your glutes. And then plant your palms, send your hips back. Deep stretch. Shift it forward, find a crescent lunge, lift your back knee, come to your back toes, reach your arms overhead. And quick twist here, sweep your right arm back. Chest faces towards your right hip. Open up warrior two, arms overhead and sweeps open. Drop your back heel. Settle it in here. Firmly plant through both feet. Squeeze your glutes to open your hips. Maybe sway your upper body. Inhale, reverse warrior. Front arm reaches high. And find extended side angle. Reach your front arm down. Maybe to your knee. Maybe to the inside of your leg. Keep squeezing. Keep breathing into your quads. Rising up into star, toes out, heels in, goddess pose, hands to your heart, sway side to side. Star pose, and warrior to the back. Find warrior two, bend your back knee, facing the opposite direction, settle in here. Siri to activate. Okay, keep going. Inhale, reverse warrior. Catching it on the opposite side. Open your left side like an accordion. And then extended side angle. Reach forward and down. Inhale, reverse triangle. Straighten your front leg. So this time it'll be your left leg. Still facing the back. Open up here. Continue to breathe into your low left side. And triangle pose. Sass your hips to the front. Reach your left arm back and down. Couple options for variations. You can extend your left arm up and overhead. Framing your ears. Take a half bind. Wherever you are, engage your core. Reverse warrior, bend your front knee, sweep your left arm up. And to the back of your mat, plant your palms. Step your foot back, find a high plank. And push it back, downward facing dog. So you're now facing the back. Take a breath in. And breath out. We're facing the back of our mats. We'll start with our left leg, sweep your left toes high, bend your knee, maybe flip your dog. Wherever you are, find some space. Space in your body, space in your hips. And three-legged dog is where we'll meet. And low lunge to the back of your mat. Drop your right knee, untuck your toes, lift your arms. Take a moment to move your hips. Settle in where it feels good. Keep your glutes engaged. And plant your palms, send your hips back, half splits. Shift forward, find crescent lunge, lift your back leg, arms overhead. And twist, left arm sweeps back. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Warrior two, arms overhead. Open it up to the back. Inhale, reverse warrior. We'll move with breath here. Exhale, extended side angle. Reach forward and down. Inhale, triangle pose. Stand up. Exhale, warrior two to the front. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Adding on, inhale, reverse triangle, straighten your front leg. And exhale, triangle pose. Sass your hips to the back, reach forward, and then tip your right arm down. We'll hold and breathe. Continue to use your core. Notice what challenge you would like in this moment. Whether it's to strengthen your arms or open up more in your hips. Place your hands down and focus on your hips. Reverse warrior, bend your front knee, sweep your front arm high. Then plant your palms and flow through. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Exhale. Inhale, gaze forward. Step your feet in between your hands. Release your upper body down. Inhale, chair pose, drop your seat, reach your arms overhead. Bring your hands to your heart, setting up for prayer twist. Bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Reach your chest towards your thumbs. Keep pulling your right shoulder back. Notice your knees. Is there space to push your left hip back? Lower your seat for one more breath. Release into a forward fold. Lift your hips. Separate your feet hip width distance. Grab onto your big toes with your thumb and forefinger. As you inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, release down. Continue to breathe. The focus here is to find length in your spine. Bending your knees can help release your upper body. Notice any tension in the back of your neck. See if you can release it with your exhales. Release your grip. So wheel your feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step your left foot back. We'll take warrior one. Drop your heel down. Rise up. Arms overhead. You can widen your stance towards pulling your left hip forward. Interlace your hands behind your low back. Lift your chest. Find humble warrior. Guide your right shoulder down. Tuck your chin and breathe. Continue to kick into your heels. Right hip pulls back. Strong and engaged through your hips. Begin to lift your chest. And this time, come up to your back toes. Into a crescent lunge with your hands still behind your low back. And launch off. Launch off your back toes. Come to standing on your right leg. Keep your hands interlaced. If it feels better to have your hands at your chest, that's a great option too. And open up into half moon. Release your arms. Sweep your right arm down. Left hip stacks on top. Flex your back toes. Breathe. Always an option to hold onto a couch or a water bottle or something underneath your right hand. And then slowly release back into a star pose. Bring your back foot to the back of your mat. Arms overhead. Wide-legged forward fold. Rotate your toes in, hinge from your hips and fold forward. Bend out your knees. Your hands can come to the ground or the outsides of your legs. Notice what you might be holding on to. See if you can let it go with your exhales. And bring your hands underneath your shoulders onto the ground. Take Skandasana to the back. Bend your left knee, point your front toes. And a deep stretch through your hips. Lift your hips back up to center. Find Skandasana on the opposite side. And shift back to center, hands under your shoulders. Rise with a flat back, extend your arms by your sides, arms overhead. And this time, step both feet up to the top of your mat, face forward, take a back bend. And this time, option to place your hands on your low back. Squeeze your glutes and push your hips forward. Draw your elbows together, lift your hips, and bring your gaze to the ceiling. Maybe you let your head drop back if that feels good. Continue to lift your chest up, push it forward. And rise up. Hands by your sides. Arms overhead. Setting up for dancer's pose. Bring your right elbow to your right hip. Take your right foot back, grab onto the inside arch of your right foot, and kick into your palm. As you kick, start to reach forward with your left hand. Kick into your palm to open your right shoulder, and breathe. Rotate your right hip slightly down to face the ground. If you fall out, that's totally fine. Just get back in, it's all a challenge. Reach, one more breath. And release. Hands by your sides, breath in. And breath out. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back this time, setting up for warrior one. Ground your right heel. Lift your upper body, arms overhead. Widen your stance, bring your left foot to the left side of your mat. Interlace your hands behind your low back. Find your opposite grip here. So opposite thumb is on top. Push your knuckles towards the ground, lift your chest. And as you exhale, humble warrior. Left shoulder comes forward and down. Notice where you feel your sensations and breathe into it. Slowly rise up. Keep your hands interlaced. Lift your back heel, setting up to launch off. Bend through both knees. Kick off your back foot. Send your right leg back. Airplane legs with interlaced hands. And then start to open up into half moon. Release your grip. Left arm comes down. Stack your right hip this time. Open towards the side. And release back, finding star pose. Arms overhead. This time, goddess pose, bring your hands to your heart. And then bring your hands to your legs, lift your chest and twist. Bring out your spine. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist opposite. Continue to flow with your breath. Come back to center, star pose. Bring your feet parallel to one another. Step to the top of your mat. Face forward, setting up for second-sided dancer. Left elbow to your hip. Take your left foot back. Grab onto the inside arch. Bring your knees back together. And kick. Continue to reach through your front arm. Here you can lift your left leg. Rotate your left hip slightly down. Reach for one more breath. And release. Hands by your sides, kick it out. Take a breath here. Notice what you notice within your body. As we're starting to wind down, notice any additional needs that you want to cover in class. Sweep your arms overhead and drop your seat. Bring your hands to your heart. I forgot to grab the opposite side of prayer twist. Bring your right elbow to your left side. Drop your seat and twist. Inhales, reach to the crown of your head. Exhale, twist. Drop your seat, one more breath. And release into a forward fold. Separate your feet, hip width distance. This time, bringing your hands underneath your feet for Padahastasana. Lift your chest slightly as you inhale. Exhale, melt down. Gentle movement with your breath to help deeper release within your body. Into your heels, release your hands. Slowly rise up to standing. Reach your arms overhead. And forward fold. We'll take one more quick flow on each side to even things out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, clench your palms, step your feet back. Flow through, we'll meet in down dog. Inhale, sweep your right toes high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, crescent, rise up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, warrior two. Open up. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse triangle, straighten your front leg. Exhale, triangle pose. Inhale, reverse warrior, bend your knee, sweep forward, sweep up. And plant your palms and flow through. Meet and down. As you're ready, sweep your right left toes high. And low lunge, foot to the top. Inhale, rise crescent. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Forward and down. Inhale, reverse triangle. Straighten your front leg. Exhale, triangle pose. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, plant your palms and flow through. We'll meet up in our final time out of this class. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Gaze forward. Step your feet behind your wrists. Come to a seat. Send your legs out. Lift your right leg on top of your left. You can stay here, or you can kick your left leg in for a deeper hip stretch. So this is the moment where it's a bit more of choose your own adventure. So if you know that you prefer a different hip stretch, you can feel free to do that. Maybe figure 4 legs. As you inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, twist towards your top knee. Any grip, holding on or pushing off of your legs. Use the ground. Couple more breaths. Notice where you might be holding on or feeling tension. Send your breath into those spaces. Up to center. Quick counter twist, opposite side. Come back to the center. Take a quick lean forward. Walk your hands back. Kick your legs out front. Shake out your knees. Bring your left leg up and over. Once again, first and foremost, notice both sit bones on the ground. If you want to test out tucking in your right leg, you can do that. Once again, notice both sit bones connected. If that compromises it, you can always extend your right leg back out and begin your twist. Lengthen your spine as you inhale, exhale, twist. Slowly come back to center, quick counter twist. Bring your chest to face forward. Gently walk your hands in front. Center, kick your legs out. Those twists are especially great to do during the workday. Even if you're in your chair, find your feet on a flat surface. You can simply grip onto your chair or your desk and push the side. Our bodies, especially sitting all day, can get really stuck together. It's like a lot of intricate pieces that just kind of get stuck. And so any sort of movement to help shake up the pieces can help in the long term. Okay, bring your feet to butterfly legs. Lift your chest, grab onto your feet or your ankles and lean forward. I like to call little stretching breaks, little yoga snack breaks. And then kick your legs forward and slowly lower down onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. Cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh, drop your knees over to the left, gaze right. Notice the difference between this stretch and the one we just took. Notice where you feel it. Maybe where it lacks intensity. Or maybe where there's more intensity. Come back to center. Swap it out. Drop your knees to the opposite side. Bring your knees back to center. We'll set up for 2 rounds of bridge. If you know that you'd like to take wheel, you can begin the bridge pose. Bring your arms by your sides. Step your heels in towards your seat. Tuck your shoulder blades under and lift your hips. Option 2, interlace your hands and then tuck your shoulders under your body. Keep lifting your hips. And slowly lower down. Drop your knees to the side and then butterfly legs, Supta Baddha Konasana. And one more time. Setting up for bridge. If you want to take it again, begin. If you want supported bridge, you can put a pillow or a block underneath your lowest part of your back. If you want wheel, bring your fingertips, bring your palms by your ears. Fingertips point towards your shoulders. Step your heels in. Begin to lift your hips, push into your palms, lift your chest, lift your hips. Find it back. Wherever you are, continue to breathe. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. And after your second breath, slowly start to come back down onto your back. And as you lower down, put your knees into your chest and find happy baby. Grabbing onto the outsides of your feet. Rock side to side. Push as much of your back onto the mat as you can. This will help give it a deeper massage. And then bring your knees into your chest. Lift your forehead up. Take it, find the tightest ball of practice. Take a deep breath in. Hold at the top. Take one more sip. And release. Final Shavasana. Take up space, expand across your mat and onto the floor. And soften your breath for this final bit. I'll cue you out when the time is right. Stay here as long as you need. Time is now 7:45. Ready to move on. Drop your chin to either side. Bring one hand to your heart, one to your belly. Take 2 deep breaths. Recognizing all the work that your body has led you through in this practice and on each day. To your heart, maybe rest one on top of the other. Acknowledge kindness in your actions. Bring your thumbs to your lips to acknowledge kindness in your words. Bring your thumbs to your third eye center to acknowledge kindness in your thoughts. And namaste. Thank you all for joining today. I'll slowly close out. You can take your time to get out. And I hope to see you all next week. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Marty. Have a great day.
See ya.